Thank you for talking to Fitness Magazine. Our first question we have for you is what inspired you to get involved into the New York Marathon?
Well, the New York City Marathon is something I always wanted to do. It was like a dream of mine my entire life. And, as a kid, I didn't grow up playing sports at all. They didn't have it at my school, so I didn't have an athletic background at all. I mean, I danced some, but, to do like a real endurance sport, I had no idea how to start. And then I happened to meet a former editor of a fitness magazine, and she had just run her 9th marathon.
Oh, wow.
And she said to me, I was like, I want to run a marathon so badly, but I don't think I can run that far. And she said, you don't have to run every step of the way. And a light went off in my head.
Yeah, maybe once we get it. Yeah.
I thought, wow, I could probably do this. And then she suggested the Galway method, which is online and it's free. Anybody can do it and look at it. And it's for people who are recovering from injuries, coming late to running in their life. And, it's a great guide.
Okay.
And then I got a call from a charity called Harlem United, and it was right after the economy collapsed, and they do such important work, in the AIDS community for people who are really suffering and could not get any help, and preventing people who are really at high risk from engaging in behaviors that are dangerous, and teaching teenagers and teaching teenagers like. How to prevent HIV and AIDS, also going into churches and training the clergy to test people for HIV and AIDS, which has really, made a tremendous difference in the amount of people who can escape being infected by the disease.
What new developments are you guys working on? You mentioned getting AIDS testing available in churches. Is there anything new this year?
Well, that program just rolled out over the last year. There's a tremendous amount of art therapy and nutrition therapy that's going on. And our presence in the marathon is growing by leaps and bounds. In fact, the way they set up the fundraising and organized everything online, and we'll give you a link to it, we got a commendation from the mayor's office for sort of revolutionizing the way that people or updating, maybe revolutionizing is too strong a word, but updating the way that charities can participate in the marathon. 70% of the people who run the New York City Marathon do it for a charity. And, it's like you're doing something great for a charity, you're doing something great for yourself. And I think that's part of what makes the marathon so incredibly exciting and unique in New York, is that you have people who are running not only for themselves but for a cause, and everyone's running together, and there's so much support from the city. I don't know, have you ever run a marathon?
No.
If I can do it, anybody can do it. If I can run a marathon, anybody can run a marathon, I'm telling you. There's people all over the streets, like lining the streets the whole way along, a band every block, people cheering for you. Every borough has its own flavor. I've lived here, almost all my life, and I've never had a better tour of the city than running the marathon.
Did you run the whole time your first time you ran it?
No, I ran and I walked. I did a combination of, running for 4 minutes and then slowing my pace down and walking for a minute. And my first marathon time was 5:59. Then my marathon time last year was 4:49.
Hoping to improve it this year?
I'm hoping for 4:35, and I think that this probably might be my last full marathon. Because it does, it takes a big toll on my feet and my body, and but like a half marathon's a dream.
Because it's just less, or the training's less rigorous?
The training's less. It's really, what it is. I mean, the training is about the same, but it's not as hard on your body.
Does training for the marathons alter your fitness routine, or are you pretty consistent?
No, it is your fitness routine. It doesn't alter it. It is your fitness routine. Your water intake has to go. Your water intake has to go a lot higher. Your carb intake has to go a lot higher. If you have time to watch TV, if you have time to fool around on the internet, if you have time to walk around a store without something specific that you're there for, you have time to run.
Would your advice to first-time runners then just be go do it, just go run?
Yeah, just run as much as you can. When you have school-age kids like I do, I mean, you can't really be on a schedule. You're on their schedule, so you have to run whenever you can. And you know, there's something nice about that. There's no schedule. There's no equipment. All you have to do is put your shoes on. I said that there's no equipment, but that's not true. I mean, one of the big things that's really important is monitoring your pace and monitoring your heart rate. That's like the one thing that's really important. I mean, I would go out with a watch on. Like if I had to choose between a watch and music, I'm going out with a watch.
You just find that helps you stay focused more?
Well, you know, I mean, the thing is that, you know, when you have a heart rate monitor, right, then it lets you know like how your endurance is going, and you really have a way of measuring how you're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. You know, because you'll see you're running the same distance, but your heart rate is a little lower. You run the same distance at the same pace, and your heart rate gets lower and lower and lower as your endurance builds. You know, and having a watch, it's like you always know. You know, you're looking at your watch. You always know. I'm as good as I was yesterday. I was better than I was yesterday. I need to do a little bit better tomorrow because, you know, I'm not so great as I was yesterday. I think that that's a really important tool.
Is that your number one thing you bring with you when you run then, just a watch?
Yeah, I mean, you know, shoes and a watch is where it's at. But yeah, I mean, my watch is really important to me. And for water, you know, I hate carrying something in my hand, and I hate looking for a water fountain, and I don't like the water belt. So, you know, I tend to hydrate really well the night before. And my watch, you know, I'm picky about it. I'm really picky about it because I want to wear it all the time, and I want it to look good, and I want it to keep time, and I want it to make sense for me. And, you know, recently I was named fashion director of Sector Watches. My fiance owns the parent company Circa, and they're the U.S. distributor for the watch. And, you know, they started coming in, I started wearing them, and I love them, you know, because they're fashionable, they're functional. This one I wear every day. I wear it when I run a lot.
I like that one a lot.
Isn't it pretty? It's really great. You know, and then there's another one that I wear for, like, you know, race day, which is this one, the Expander, which is fantastic. You know, but they both look, you know, it's fashion and it's function. It's a Milanese, you know, it's a Milanese design, which takes it out of the realm of just
a watch.
Yeah, you know, here's my sport watch, which by definition tend to look pretty brutal.
What are your go-to beauty products for when you're working out?
Burt's Bees foot cream, Eucerin lotion. It's like a basic staple that works really well, and then Yes to cucumbers. They make these wipes. Yeah, those are fantastic, you know, because like you sweat so much and your skin gets really clean, but you have to, you know, your body like dumps out all the toxins because, you know, you warm it from the inside out, and you sweat, and you know, but then everything ends up kind of laying on your skin. So it's really important to keep your face clean.
Is that the number one advice you give to runners then, is to skincare?
Yeah.
Stay on top of it?
Yeah, you know, and also it's like your body's first line of defense, your skin. So if you're not, you know, so if your skin isn't hydrated, you know, both from inside and outside, you're going to get a lot more irritated running. You know, because no matter what you say, like after you start running more than 10 miles, anything you wear irritates you.
That makes it difficult. Do you have a sunscreen that's like your number one go-to?
The sunscreen is in, there's like a Eucerin 35 lotion that just works.
Do you feel like your hair needs extra care while you're running and training for it?
Well, you know, you have to wash it a lot. So some days I just skip the shampoo, so that, you know, my hair doesn't end up getting stripped.
Yeah.
But my favorite shampoo to use is the Oribe shampoo, ORIB.
And just from being around hairstylists and makeup artists, what's your favorite thing you've learned from them?
Less is more. I think that, you know, when there's this great quote from Coco Chanel. It's the unseen, unforgettable accessory of fashion, and I also include makeup and hair in that. That announces your arrival and prolongs your departure. So it's always important that you are that you wear whatever it is that you choose, whether it's your hair, your makeup, your clothes, and that it doesn't wear you.
Do you have one thing you focus on, then your eyes or your lips? Or?
For me, it's usually eyelashes and eyebrows.
Finally, what are any upcoming projects you're working on?
Upcoming projects we're working on, well, we're launching Sector in the U.S. and I'm introducing Sector to the fashion world, and we're getting an amazing response.
Thank you for talking with Fitness Magazine.
You're welcome.